The CMC manufacturing has been really prominent, I think, over the last, best part of a decade now. Actually, it was seen as something which was not really important, but we all know it's become a key, driver to the growth in cell and gene therapy and the true sort of industrialization and distribution of these incredible cures often. CMC and manufacturing supply chain strategies has got various levels to it. And what we discussed in the panel, I think what came out of it is that there's no easy rides on CMC. You've got to invest early. You've got probably, we're proposing, I think, in the panel that you need to do more on characterization of your products earlier on. You need to understand them a bit better. You might not understand all the links between critical quality attributes and critical process parameters, etc. But the better you have data banks, which are in a structured way, so the data can be mined, which is important, that'll really add good value to development programs. The utilization of platforms as much as possible to take ambiguity out of the process and to give a pathway to scalability. It may not be you starting your phase 1/2s in the vessel geometry or the exact methodology that you'll be using for phase 3 and beyond, but it's a sort of a roadway, a building block approach to getting you to success. Because once people file for some or get onto some accelerated clinical program, time just runs out for CMC. You really need to know what you're doing on your CMC before you sort of get onto that accelerated scheme, because the expectations from boardrooms and investors is now extremely, extremely high. From the sort of experience of technology sort of innovation companies, and companies like the Catapult, who work with lots of SMEs and companies developing these processes. The sooner that these platforms can be embedded, the better. Some platforms are starting to group. I think we are seeing some commonality around gene vector production methodologies, for example, and that's positive. So there is some commonality there. Regulators have an expectation, and people then know what that sort of benchmark is. But for other technologies, there is quite a lot of heterogeneity there. The downside, of course, is it's not been seen before. People are having to work out things for the first time, or perhaps for the first time, but very early on in baby steps in that technology. The upside, of course, for us as a sector is that we haven't got a fixed path for some of these novel technologies. So there is the ability to find what looks really good and to build it from there, rather than saying, okay, biopharma have done it this way, let's do it that way for these technologies as well. And that could well be a non-scalable locking into a bad way of doing it for the future. So I think there is some upsides on technology and platforms and standardization. And I think we've got an opportunity to shape the future in CMC for cell and gene, and not just take perhaps more traditional types of approaches and do carbon copies of them on our sector.